So let's continue with the sound of music. And what we were discussing about, music and Evelyn Glennie. Okay. So she is Evelyn Glennie. Okay. We were here. Now see, when she says that music pours in through every part of her body, that means throughout her body only one thing is moving or circulating like blood, and that is music. So each part of her body is responding to music nearby and within her. So it is possible for her to make music her life and pursue her career in music and reach her destination. And everyone we know that hard work is key to success, or we can say to our defined destination. Yes. After that, we come to know that she was awarded in the year 1991 with the prestigious Philharmonic Society's Soloist Award. Soloist means we can say that her identity is individual here. So, after coming out from the orchestra, because she started as a solo performer, she started to gain, to earn name and fame and become a master in that category. And for that, she was awarded the prestigious Philharmonic Society's Soloist Award, and in the year 1991. So this information is a star information for you all here. Okay. After that, we know that she spent most of her time in performing. But apart from performing in the grand theaters, or we can say in the grand platform, she also spared little time to perform in front of the prisoners in prisons, yes, then in front of ill people, that is in hospitals, and she also devoted her precious time for aspiring musicians, we can say for the young musicians. So along with her own individual fame, her awards, she also contributed a major, we can say, part of her life for the public, for the society. And here we can say that she was not self-centered. Yes. And because she was not self-centered, she thought about the people of prisons, of hospitals, and for budding musicians, because she even herself was at one point of time a budding musician, and she was encouraged by whom? Her mother and Ron Forbes. And the teachers and the other people, what they did, they discouraged her. So she gave special preference that each and every budding musician or young musician get the guidance, proper guidance, in order to pursue music as a career. Okay. So This is one of the important things, because question will be asked that apart from her general performances where she performs in a grand manner, what are the other activities that she do or that she did at that point of time? So she performed in prisons, hospitals, and gave lessons for young musicians. Okay, then with this, we know that she is an inspiration for many. Because why many? Because a lot of people are there who are differently abled, because that is the term that we use nowadays. So, differently abled people do have some kind of caliber and potential which needs to be carved out. Yes. So, if that is not brought out, you won't be regarded as exceptional. And Evelyn Glennie is an inspiration for these kind of people who are differently abled, who are regarded as a burden in the society, and who are actually denied by their own families to pursue anything which they like. So our families, actually each and every family has some kind of bondages, and because of which a child, if he or she is differently abled, he has to face a lot of controversies and some kind of, we can say, uh, intricacies in taking decision, in taking, in actually prospering in a particular field. So Evelyn Glennie is actually an idol for them. And being a child and for the entire society, she has paved a way for the elders, for the parents, and for the children, or we can say the youngsters, that each and every child has some kind of caliber or potential. Yes. And apart from the inspiration and encouragement, she was also being able to entertain people. Because why? Because she mastered over 1,000 musical instruments. She knew Japanese and French. She knew her Scottish accent properly. Though she can't hear, she can speak. She can, we can say, communicate with people, with audience, and with the greater public through what? Via music. And the way she delivers music is so melodious that it encapsulates the entire audience throughout the performance period, throughout the span of the performance. Apart from that, he or she, the audience, will feel the performance throughout his or her life. And that is the exceptional point for, uh, we can say, Evelyn Glennie, that people acclaimed her of her fame, of her name, and of her identity, because she was able to mold up a greater public, a greater audience, a greater spectators with the help of her excellent delivery of music. Okay. With this, we come to the end of the part one of A Sound of Music, where we studied about Evelyn Glennie, the, we can say, soloist, and master percussionist. Okay. Now we will be discussing a few RTC. And what is RTC? Please go through the RTC. Okay. Here are three RTCs which is actually extracted from the chapter itself, and we know that these are very important from your exams perspective, because at least one RTC will come from this chapter in your ninth annual exam. Okay, so it is very important for you all that you go through this RTC, and you should actually know who spoke these words, to whom, and about what. So, actually, the criteria of asking RTC questions is to assess the child's understanding of the entire chapter line by line. And for literature part, it is very important that the child understands each and every word dot to dot, and the child also knows that who is speaking which word, to whom, and about what. Okay. So the first one is, I suddenly realized that she hadn't heard. So who can speak this sentence? Just have a calculative assumption that who can speak this sentence and what he or she is trying to speak or explain and about whom. Okay, so if you have gone through the chapter line by line actually, then you will know that this line, this sentence comes in the very first page and in the very beginning and in the second paragraph of the chapter. And this sentence is spoken by whom? Evelyn Glennie's mother, and she is Isabella Glennie. Okay, Isabel Glennie. So, Isabel Glennie, when she attended one of the cultural function, or we can say cultural program in Evelyn Glennie's school, she noticed, being a mother, she noticed her child that she was sitting stand still. Now, what do you understand by the word stand still? We will speak about the sentence and we will speak about the RTC. But first, we need to know that what is actually standstill. From the word itself, we know that it is a combined word, stand and still, and it is usually used in words or sentences in order to define something which is all of a sudden, or something which is frozen, or something which is not moving an inch from one place, not moving 1 inch. Okay, sorry. So when Isabel Glennie felt that her daughter was not moving, even though her teachers were repeatedly calling out her name, Evelyn Glennie, it's your turn to play the piano in the school program. And because Evelyn had the habit of concealing, or we can say hiding, conceal means hiding her hearing impairment. So she was sitting silently in her place. She didn't move. And this made her mother distressful because her mother came to know that Evelyn have been gradually losing her hearing ability. And because of this, it is going to affect her life, her career to a great extent. Yes. So it is going to definitely affect a child who is not normal, or we can say who is not perfect. So, as a whole, no one is perfect, but the attributes that is natural, that is given by God, is accepted as is accepted in the society as normal. And if one of the thing is lacking, the society recognize it as abnormal. And her mother was in this constant fear that now her daughter will be regarded, will be identified, will be called as a deaf child, as a deaf girl. And because of the intricate controversies and problems, what happens is that the child doesn't get the equal amount of exposure to the society, and he or she is not given the actual amount of preference in the society. Yes. So this happens. So at this point, it is very depressing for Isabel that her daughter has completely lost, and now she is profoundly deaf. Profoundly means completely deaf. Okay? Profound means complete, or we can say more than complete. So she is declared by the doctors and physicians, and she is given hearing aids, and she is declared by the doctor as a profound deaf. And this automatically makes a mother distressful. Yes? But on the other side, what Evelyn has in her mind is her craze, her daunting decision towards making music as her career, as her destination. And this craving for music and to learn different musical instruments gradually made her entire body to accept music, sounds, and vibrations in and around her and reciprocate in that manner. Okay? So, what we can say that I suddenly realized that she hadn't heard is actually said by Isabel Glennie. Okay, I'll just write the name. Next, we know that don't listen through your ears. Try to sense it other way. So, who said these words? It is an encouraging mode of sentence. Yes. Can you feel the uh, encouraging vibe in the speech? Yes. So, it is said or it is delivered by none other but Ron Forbes. Okay. And Ron Forbes, who was he? Multi percussionist. Now, what Ron Forbes actually tried to imbibe into Evelyn Glennie's brain, mind, and body. It was Ron Forbes who instilled and imbibed into Evelyn that we can feel music with other parts of our body, and we can sense music with the help of our entire body organs and sense organs. Okay, so it was very impressive for Evelyn. Sorry. So, so it was very encouraging for. Hello, Vinit. Welcome to the session. Sorry for my health issues. I have some cough problem. So, what happens is for Evelyn, It was important that one person from the mass, and that too a musician, and that too a multiple, or we can say a multiple instrumentalist, or we can say percussionist, who is uh, who is able to play more than two or three musical instruments. Okay. Hello, Vinith. Welcome to the session. Thank you for joining the session. आशा करती हूँ कि ऐसे ही हमारे सेशंस को आप देखते रहेंगे, क्योंकि आज तो मेरा इंग्लिश का फर्स्ट डे है, फर्स्ट क्लास है, इंटीग्रेटेड क्लास, दैट टू फ्रॉम 9 to 12, including coaching for CUET, NEET, JEE. Okay? So, what we were talking about? So, it was definitely an important game-changing moment for Evelyn, that someone is there who recognized her potential at that tender age and encouraged her that we can feel music with other body parts, or we can feel music with other mediums of sensing mediums. Okay, so Ron Forbes has a great contribution towards Evelyn Glennie's success and fame. Okay, now let's move on to the third RTC. The third RTC goes like this: God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. Okay, so this sentence comes at the end of the this part of Sound of Music, and this was this statement was made by James, let me check, James Blades. Okay, okay, now Blades, who was he? He was master percussionist, and he gave this statement that though God has taken away one of the important sense organ from Evelyn, God has given her something very, very extraordinary, which made her to gain extraordinary fame in the world, and that too which will run into posterity. Yes, so it is very important that how people actually react to your actions, react to your achievements, and how they actually uh, criticize to some extent your ability and your success. So, hardly there will be any people who will actually demotivate Evelyn or say something negative about Evelyn, because Evelyn is a girl who has rose from the grassroots level to the epitome. Yes, and there was no shortcut in between because she worked hard a lot to gain her success, and she also contributed her valuable time in between her hectic schedule to the prisoners, to the patients, and to the aspiring musicians. So definitely it is one of the important feature for a musician or for a person who has earned fame, and he or she is still giving time for people. Yes. So these three are very important RTC from part 1 of Sound of Music. In the next class, we will be doing Sound of Music part 2, where we will be introduced to some of the Indian musical instruments and to some Indian musicians, and specifically to Bismillah Khan. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of today's session. Thank you for being with us throughout the session, and hope that you all join me in the next session. Okay, so let's wind up here.